I got scholarships from Stanford, Melbourne University, but unfortunately, I couldn't afford it at that point of time.
Greetings to all. We welcome you all to this insightful conversation with the founder of MadHawks, to the mad brain who believes in relying on data to give real solutions to existing problems. Mr. Ravi Kumar sir, on behalf of the incubation cell of Shahid Bhagat Singh College, we extend our warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
The
Thank you.
incubation cell at Shahid Bhagat Singh College, Delhi University is a dynamic hub for budding entrepreneurs. We are driven by a clear vision to be the ultimate destination for entrepreneurial growth. Our mission revolves around supporting passionate entrepreneurs. We believe in empowerment. Our commitment is to provide upcoming startups with the necessary tools, guidance, and unwavering support to transform their unique ideas into thriving businesses. We understand that entrepreneurship can be challenging, which is why we stand as a trusted partner in innovation.
So, sir, this was all about our MadHawks. Now, let's hear from your side about your company because who can tell this better than you to our audience?
Sure, sure. So we like I said in the beginning, we are technically COVID born. Although we started working little earlier than COVID. Then I had to move. My wife had to move earlier to Canada because of my job, my previous job. I was looking into a lot of North American clients, and the travel used to be like that. So we took a call that let's move to that side of the geography. So the idea of give like the idea of MadHawks actually was for North America, and not for India. But like I said, good things happens for a reason. So uh, then COVID happened. One of us had to take the call, and then I came to India, and that's where we technically started. A lot of people reached out to us during COVID, the contacts who I was in touch with, and yeah, that's how the literal, I'll say, birth of MadHawks, uh, and the journey has been crazy since day one. Uh, I was a coder. I always wanted solution. The reason why I started MadHawks was to solve problems like I know you have a lot of questions. I wanted to cover each thing one at a time, but in a nutshell, I can tell you, I being a coder, I always have that F5 uh, operating in my brain that I want something to happen. Even an error coming on my screen is a message, is an action for me. In the previous jobs that I have done, I was not able to see what action am I able to get from what I am doing. As a That's how the brain has been functioning for good 17-18 years before I started MadHawks. So that was the reason why I started something of my own, where I can actually take startups or ideas from a dashboard or from a piece of paper or a whiteboard to actual running businesses. And um, I can say with proud, I have, like, we still have all three clients that we started working with. First three clients of three geographies: India, Middle East, and North America. All three with us, and three of them, so two out of three were on a piece of paper. And today one is already reached at about 75-80 million in 4 years, and the other is at about 2 million in India. So yeah, I think in last 3.5-4 years, I think I'm able to solve few problems, if not more.
Right, that was very nice to hear. I do have a question. Like as you mentioned that there were three clients that you are still working with them. So can you tell us little more about like how did you maintain those clients? Did anything happen between you that would like to get into severe bonds with them? So how did you maintain those clients?
It's, I think, one of the biggest problem on the advertising and especially the digital marketing advertising side is, I'll take you back to when I started or I got my hands into, I'll say SEO 2004-5, and till even today I see this problem. uh, Digital marketing was one of the mediums that started to show results from day one. It's very transparent. It is not like a newspaper ad or a TV ad or any other sorts of advertising, like even radio for that matter, where you can show, like you can see instant result. I'm sure every other medium gives you that instant result, but that mapping of this geography, this creative, these people I targeted, and this is what I got. So each penny spent on any digital media platform can be linked to an ROI. Earlier, it used to happen, but you always were not 100% sure that because of this has happened. There was a correlation that I did a hoarding on Golf Course Road. There was a hoarding that I did on the Bandra Sea Link or Mangla. So then that's how you start. That's how the earlier mapping of advertising used to happen, that because of I did this, this is the lead I got, this is the phone calls I got, this is the number of people actually reached out to me. So that's used to happen. But after digital marketing, people started getting their ROI on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on whatever money you are spending, which is for good for the businesses. But on the advertising and on the agency side, if I speak on everyone else's behalf, it it makes everybody's life and job way tougher, because uh, from day one, once you have the transparency, because of our lack of impatience, we want results instantly. Like, this is the creative my so we have startups that spend 1000 rupees also, and we have startups that spend 1 lakh also, and we have startups that are spending $1 million a month as well. That is the range of the startups, or I can say the partners that we have. And uh, leaving aside the North American zone, rest every other geography has a very similar problem where you want instant result, and nothing to blame or why the expectation is like that, because in India itself there are about 45 or 4.5 million agencies, and I'm leaving aside the freelancer and the consultants. So A, there are so many options. B, um, impatience again. Then there are platforms like YouTube Shorts or Instagram, where whatever we do, we look for instant gratification. What really helped us to summarize I stretched this question a little, but I wanted to give you the background of why, uh, where even brands like to hop and switch. We have an internal metric, which is happiness quotient, that we keep for internal people, and happiness quotient in terms of ROI that we calculate for the businesses that we work with. And we have experienced people who spend 3 months or more with us stay, like more than 80-85% people stay with us. So there are little processes that we have created. We like to put our skin in the game. Whatever strategies we are suggesting, it should eventually result into a business or an ROI. Sitting as of today is, I think, Sunday, 4th of February. You all of you must have um, heard of Ogilvy, or the big brand names in terms of the agency side. But have you ever seen anybody calling it out on a newspaper that this ad was created by somebody? You can
I
go.
guess maybe I can say no. Yeah, no.
I can send you like if you any one of you lives in Gurgaon, you can go buy Gurgaon Times. Go to the seventh page. There is a partner that we work with. Uh, at the bottom, the creative, it's being called out created by MadHawks. So I think that's the kind of ownership and that's the kind of pride, even not only us, even the partners that we work with, they take while working with us. That this
I
newspaper
understand.
ad was created by us.
So there is an immense pride that they mention your company in their creative as well.
Yeah, yeah, in the newspaper Gurgaon Times.
Yeah.
This the first
Okay,
happened
sir.
on 31st of January, 31st December 2023.
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
Okay, so that was very nice to hear. How did you maintain? So the next question, maybe Aditya will ask.
So, has it always been marketing, or like was there something else before that?
I will say I started as a, I was always a curious child. I have a very funny background. Uh, like after I finished my board exams, that is when I like built a solar system, which was my project, which I did not submit. Finished my exam because I had nothing to do for 2 months during the holidays. I built that solar system in house, like in my house. That is where I started getting little curious about physics and about um, especially on the internet side. At that point of time, computer science used to be like the talk of the town.
It was booming at that time.
Yeah, and one of my actually dad's friend gifted a computer, like a desktop computer, to us. So I think that I got my hands dirty at a very young age. So that sort of created that curiosity in my head. Uh, so while I was pursuing commerce, I was also pursuing science. So I did not mention anywhere, but I am a BCom and a BSc IT as well
Yes,
because of
Can you
that's
my
what I
can
thought.
you let us?
curiosity.
Yeah, how did you pursue both at the same time?
One
Was it a
regular, one
challenge?
correspondence.
Okay, right, sir. So, how did you? Was it hard to leave science behind? Like now you're into hardcore marketing, right? So,
It was computers actually. I'll not say
computers.
science.
Yeah,
It was computer science and computers, and even at a very early age. I mean, I was not that young, but in 2004 5, I was introduced to SEO. Like, in fact, 2003 or 2 was, or maybe 1 was the first time I used Google.
correct, sir.
On
Uh,
the computer that was gifted, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir. That was actually very productive use of computer because, as I can say personally, I might have not used it in that much of a productive capacity. So yeah, Aman.
So yeah, so I saw that you were working for a significant amount of time after graduation. So and then you suddenly shifted to pursue MBA. So I want to ask, was it sudden or was it planned way before?
So, like I said, because SU happened during my first year of college. So, while I was studying, I started working. Uh, I worked for it was an international call center at that used to be at that point of time. There is a store called Target and Circuit City in the US. Circuit City was, you can say, very much like DMart of India, huge stores, and we used to. So because I was very curious child, I I want I wanted to maybe learn few things at that point of time. I got involved into that Circuit City, the offshore experience of speaking to Americans, speaking to people who speak other languages. I started and I got my hands into sales at that point of time, and I think since then I have not looked back. So because I really enjoyed at a very early young age, I figured that one of the key things that I can do best is my hard work, and I love talking to people, which I think you must have figured. I'm talking more than
Yeah.
you guys. So I love to talk. I love to share. So I think that's one thing I have learned at a very young age, and I always believe before you get into MBA, you look at anywhere in the rest of the world, uh, barring India or maybe Asia aside. They want you to work even half of our family is based out of North America, and that's what uh, we have seen at a very young age. You have to earn your own pocket money. So
Yeah. We can say that in India.
working, and when you have to, when you know that, see, finance is such a crucial and a critical thing. You have been taught at a very young age how to manage finances. With whatever you will make, you will even like I have like cousin brothers living in the Bay Area. There is a concept over there where if you want at a very young age, and I'm talking about 7, 8 year old, 9 year old kids, if you go wash my car, you will get $10, which is your 1 day or a 2 day pocket money. So at a very young age, if you perform this, then you will get this. So that's something that's got inculcated in there. But in where unfortunately where we come from, we get our hands onto the jobs at a very later stage of our life, which is what, because we have been grown up in such a pampered environment, especially if you live with your parents at your house. But if you are, or if you have experienced living in a hostel or a PG, you still experience different side of you, and you get to know about the life. So I always feel before you get a professional degree, you should know what is that thing that you are good at. It's very important to identify. If you know, you are somebody who for whom people go and ask, can you write a message for me, can you draft an email for me, then you just have to figure out that maybe I am good at writing content. If people come to you and take you for shopping, that means you have a good taste. You can be you can maybe pursue your career in social media, in terms of digital marketing, or like a merchandiser or a fashion designer. That is because that's your sense, your so all these things starts at a very very beginning of your life. And once you get your experience, that maybe interest or a skill get tested in an outside environment, in a job, that is when you decide, okay, I'm good at this, let me now go ahead
I'll
and
pursue this.
yeah.
It
that's what
creates
Yeah. So
that's what my story was. I mean, it happened to me because uh my profile, from a very beginning I wanted to study abroad, but unfortunately I couldn't, because of so many other reasons. I got scholarships from Stanford, Melbourne University, but unfortunately, I couldn't afford it at that point of time. Uh, I don't want to blame anyone, but like I applied to 18, 19 banks, and but I could not get a loan at that point of time. So I said, okay, leave it. Let me just do what I can do in India, and then let's take it from there.
But sir,
okay,
I
that
still
was
say that
it was
your
planned.
sense of clarity is very inspiring. And as you said, in America, the early age you have to work from early age creates a sense of responsibility also when you are
Correct.
working everywhere.
Correct.
Okay, sir, for the next question, during a period when many face challenges in the job market in the
Mhm.
COVID times, what motivated you to go out of the box and venturing into starting your own agency?
Like I said, it happened. I mean, it was although I always wanted to do. So I took a break when both of us left to Canada. We took a break, and then it happened. Like one of our ex clients' father reached out that this is what I want to do, and this is my requirement. I've heard about you. I want to work with you. Tell me, how can you help? So that was the first sort of motivation. But before that, to be honest, I executed few of the campaigns. Like India's largest Air India campaign was executed by us. Like their first flight took from Amritsar to Toronto. We executed the influencer marketing campaign at that time. There was a real estate. Um, I think North India is, I think, one of the largest real estate builder. We created their website. That algorithm is still being used by a lot of people. The internal search algorithm of property, which gets filtered basis the keyword that you are searching for. We built that algo back in 2000, I'll say 20 beginning. But during COVID, I thought it has affected a lot of people. So I don't want to take that as an opportunity, or sound like that it was an opportunity. I feel that it has given me a comfort. At that point of time, people were not required to work from home. People were not required to work from office. So it sort of helped at that point of time. Everyone was very sensitive and very focused towards what they are doing, along with whatever was happening outside. So it sort of gave me that cushion, uh, and also helped in terms of people as well. So that's how it's panned out.
So, sir, that was very instantaneous, like the effects of digital marketing, right? Sometimes just things just happens with flows, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next question, it's something about your opinion. How did the introduction of 4G drive the digital change? Like, also, how will 5G impact the digital marketing in the future? And is there any role of AI in that?
Uh, the answer is multifold, to be honest, in this case. I still remember I have seen the online recharge, and I've seen 2G, 3G, and then 4G. Uh, Especially the way India is being looked at today. Um, we Whatever the telecom industry or telecom existing players are saying, but we, especially on the digital marketing side, we see it as pre-geo and post-geo. So pre-geo gave that opportunity to, I will say, 70-75% of the country to maybe access internet.
Yes, sir.
So uh, the reason why 4G was used at scale, geo is the reason, and which is why you see a lot of. I was while going through the same ad, I was reading an article on Times of India. Oh, sorry, on Economic Times. India has most number of app installs in, I think, 9-10 categories, and I think we entered into internet space maybe towards the end as compared to the rest of the world. But still in the app, we are number one on 8-9 categories. So that talks a lot about the internet that currently exists, and because of what Geo did to the country, from 3G, 2G to featured phone handheld devices to the uh, to a smartphone, and now the 5G will take one step forward. So uh, I don't want to touch upon the very sensitive topic that's going on in the US, the way even your TikTok, Meta, uh, other social media platforms are being questioned by the senators. But I can say the targeting will be much better. The location targeting can be better. Uh, with the usage of more 5G, advertisers or people who want to reach out to, if you are passing by uh, from, let's say, Ring Road, and there are like three McDonald's. So even before you reach uh, or about to reach, an advertiser can figure out that you are from this age to this age. A banner of McDonald's can be shown to you. That's one advantage of 5G because of fast internet. YouTube ads, or I'll say Instagram video ads, so video streaming platforms and video ads platform will take a lot of advantage because the speed will be more content will be created. Along with this, the third and the foremost, which has taken a little bit of space, AR VR, which till now is not so successful because we don't like something that is touching or very close to our face or which is on our face. So AR VR devices, real estate companies, people who want to give experience to the users, those advertisers. So usage of AR VR will take it to the next go to the next level.
Thank you, sir. That was actually very nice to hear the transition from 4G to 5G and then to AR and VR. Okay, so Aman,
Okay. Yeah. So I guess, sir, it might be a controversial question. So, sir, do you think that the system of India, education system of India for the undergraduates and the postgraduates is enough for current marketing scenario, or one should develop their own skills in any field by themselves?
I think I answered this question in the beginning, but I'll repeat and I'll say it in a much nicer way. Uh, I feel the current education system is the reason why, at this financial crisis which the world is going through, we as a country are still doing well. So no doubt and no question on the education system. It's at the end of the day, everything boils down to individuals. But yes, I agree there should be some system, and the systems are in place. What you need to do is, as an individual, you need to identify what you're good at. So no education system in the world provides you that opportunity. In fact, in most countries, it's little confusing. Um, I don't want to take the country's name, but I'm very closely associated to that country, where at a very young age there are 72 genders from where you have to pick which gender are you. Luckily, we don't have to face that problem. So I think our education system i- is no, if it is not the best, but I'll say it is at that point where you see engineers at NASA, leading tech companies, is being led by an Indian. So
Yeah.
the base, or I'll say the ground reality of the education system, the basics that are being taught to us, uh, very few people or very few countries can come close to that. But at the same point of time, the advancements needs to be taken by individuals. Um and you know at the end of the day, everything boils down to you. The same education is being given to Sundar Pichai, and the same education is being given to me, and same education is being given to somebody, like, I mean, you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's
yes,
very easy to put a question mark, but individuals needs to identify. Like I said, if I'm good at this, if I'm good at talking to people, if I'm good at creatives, if I am good at solving problems mathematically, that means a paid media platform is, because that is a very mathematically driven, the bidding. So if you
Yeah.
can use permutation combination in such a way, then you are an algorithm person. Uh, get into paid media, programmatic, like little bit of meta.
So I guess one should like identify itself first of all, and then he should develop their own skills in a way that he can advance in that particular domain.
Yeah, because if you look at it as a, if you generalize it, we all know why do we don't need anybody to come and say, okay, you are good at this. We
We
all
know it.
know that one thing that we are good at, right? It's just that we have to go and practice. And sorry to say, nobody's going to hold your hand and say, okay, let's do this.
You have to identify yourself.
yeah. Yes, I think you just said that at the end of the day, clarity depends on ourselves. We have to decide for ourselves. So, sir, for our next question, I think it must be obvious for all entrepreneurs. What challenges did you face in setting up your own agency?
It's a
There
very
must be.
emotional thing to say.
Yeah.
I think not only agency, but every company in the country or in the world faces this challenge of people management, um, which is what everyone, or I'll say, we were initially, like I said, COVID happened to us. We were lucky to get people. Uh, we follow a mechanism, because like I said, we we think like coders, we think like people with logic. So we something we use internally is called fishbone theory, cause effect, if you guys may know or heard of this thing, uh, to solve any sort of problem. A lot of manufacturing company uses this. So it has, to be honest, we we have there is no company that exists without problem or challenges. uh, but I think we've been lucky enough, because of our internal processes, we have been able to solve uh, problems with a smile on our face, and was not never it was never like a challenge or a problem. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, people management and getting good people has always been a challenge, and it will always be a challenge. I'll just say, Narayan Murthy, sir, is being like looked at as the leader to follow. What he created in one lifetime, very few people can. And uh, at this age also, if he has to come out and say 70-hour work week, and the statements that he's been making, that means uh, we have become complacent, ourselves, because of COVID, getting into the habit of work from home, less working hours. So yeah, the biggest problem for everyone is people management. Rest, everything else uh, is not a problem or is not a challenge. You can solve any problem.
Okay, so sir, as you mentioned a comment by Narayan Mudri that a person should work 70 hours a week. And if I remember that there was a statement by Bill Gates that 2 or 3 days per week a person has to come to office. So is there anything you would like to tell us about it?
I uh, i was actually talking to one of our existing clients CEO. It's a I think it's a $800 million company. They do 13 1400 CR as profit after tax in India. They have about 800 odd schools in the country. Um, they, uh, he gave me a very interesting answer. And then I'll come to your Bill Gates wala also. You need to identify. I'll take you back to the thing that I said. You need to identify what you're good at. The day you'll start considering and thinking that it is my work or I'm working, then it looks like a work to you. When you when you enjoy it, when you like doing something, that does not come across as work. Like if it is like part of your job or the day, like for me, living, getting up in the morning is my job. Driving to here and there is my job. Taking care of my parents is my job. But do I consider this as a job? The answer is
No
no.
one can.
I mean, and I'm speaking from a very, very different lens, for a very small group of people, like entrepreneurs, where we are a different breed. I feel everybody can be an entrepreneur, and everybody can choose not to. So, like my wife, she doesn't. She's very clear. She only wants to work 8 9 to 5, and she's very happy with it. She wants to take care of the dog after 5, uh, and that's there are people like that also. So what sir said about 70 hours work week, was it was just a statement that people should work more. The reason why uh, I'll again give you a very bad example. We all live in an instant gratification world today, where if you want to feel good, you'll go on Instagram or you go on LinkedIn, Or Snapchat, you do a post, you see 200 likes, your instant gratification goes up, your dopamine level goes up, you like it, you feel good. The generation that I come from, if I have to feel good, I have to work one year to get a pat on my back from my boss. Okay, you did a good job. But
Get it.
today, because of that instant gratification, we feel sad. Why the mental health of the world is going like this? Because whatever we do, we want instant result. Our uh, attention span has gone to what, 8 seconds, 3 seconds. We change the reels, swipe up, like the dating apps, like it's it has to do a lot with that, where we need instant gratification, which is why the work week COVID happened. There's a long story. I mean, it's altogether a different topic. But what Bill Gates also said at his age, when he was building Microsoft, I am sure he may have not even slept for a lot of days.
Yeah,
So
we can say that.
people like you and me, I like to count myself as I'm still in 20s, although I'm not. But people like us should give importance to what we think is right, or where we should focus at an early age.
Yes, sir, correct. Okay, sir. For our next question, I would like to ask you that we also saw that you have an e-magazine, right?
Yeah.
Mad Digest. So we would like to ask you what was the concept behind that?
Concept behind Mad Digest is very simple. It's a weekly subscription. If you are into the digital space, in your day-to-day job or in your day-to-day thing, you tends to miss out on the updates, because we like to believe in the domain expertise. We only hire engineers in SEO, people who are good at maths in paid media, people who are influencers in social media, is for a reason that if you are doing one thing good at a time, this magazine can make you an expert into your own domain. So the idea of this magazine is, whether you are an executive, whether you are a fresher, or you are a student, or you are at a CXO level, or a brand manager, brand owner, if you go through this, you will get to know what happened in this week, uh, in order to know more about the digital marketing.
Right, sir. Sir, are you looking to take this to a next level, the Mad Digest, like to take it further up? Like we have many in news apps, like we have in shorts and which are digital. So, would you like to tell us about that a little?
It's very far-fetched, to be honest. I mean, the idea is not, we work with news channels. We will never be a news channel, because that's not what our expertise is. Our expertise is, if you subscribe to our newsletter, we will tell you that these updates came. But these updates is something that needs to be circulated by the specific media houses. We have no intentions to be a media house like In Shorts or any other news channel. We are more like a digital agency that wants to keep you on top of the things that you are working on, especially on the field, or in the field of digital marketing. Uh, we are not looking to diversify into any other space, as of now, is what I can say. We just want to be a digest that gives you news on what happened in this week, which startups got funding, which can help you to get a job, which can help you to know who's the new CEO, who's the new VP of marketing. We can tell you which is the latest SEO update that can help you rank on generative AI SEO. We can tell you what update Meta came up with, so that you can optimize your ads to make more business, or to optimize your ads if you are a content creator or an influencer, so on and so forth. So that's the objective of this digest.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I just have a question that I believe that there is a large community in India which is a memer, MEMER. They are memer. So, and they make memes. So, I believe that in digital marketing are memes used for the promotion and all. So, these memers do have a chance in digital marketing, or do they not?
Ah, it's a very controversial question, but I'll say people who are good with copy, they always stand a chance. I was looking at what Netflix did on a hoarding. I think it was Bombay or somewhere. They promoted the latest show, the uh, a web series on or a movie on Manoj Vajpayee and Konkanna Sen. They use that soup, the killer soup.
Killer soup.
Then I think one other brand collaborated. I'm forgetting the name of the brand. And then Kardeko came and joined and said, looking to make a killer career, apply to Kardeko. So these copies, um, anybody who's good at making copy, like I said in the beginning, get into the job of copy. Like we all remember, I'm sorry, but I've seen very few copies that I remember as a like as coming from the same industry. Thanda matlab Coca-Cola. After that, I don't think I have seen a copy which is very relatable or that gets my attention. Like what Prasoon Joshi did at that point of time with that copy. Or lately, I think Piyush Pandey did uh, at the elections, Ab Ki Baar Modi Sarkar. So the copies, it's what gets your attention. Like I genuinely don't remember any other copy that gets my attention. Thanda matlab Coca-Cola is something I think then Amir Khan came into the ad at that point of time.
Okay. So yeah, Aditya, you
So, sir, definitely some marketing campaigns leave an imprint on our brains. That's why we remember it. So, our next question is, how do you approach working with clients from various industries? Like, are there specific strategies or challenges you face, or does the approach vary significantly from one industry to another?
Uh, Overall, the approach remains the same. I'll say 70 to 75% approach remains the same. The change is only, I'll say 15 to 20% or 25%, where you get into the specifics of if you are targeting a specific industry. Um, we've built our forte into B2B and manufacturing category where people face uh, like that's the biggest challenge for people. How will you market B2B? But we have so many instances where B2B businesses have generated, like one of the brands that we worked with generated 30 million worth of new business from one SEO lead that we generated. So that's the power of B2B, and our approach in reaching out to those people will change just a little for a B2B, where we know it's the B2B businesses takes about anywhere in between 6 to 18 months of closure. But reaching out to the right audience and to the decision maker, there is a process that we follow internally. Uh, but our 75% remains the same. The specific changes, if we are reaching out to a manufacturing company versus an e-commerce, which relies a lot on ROAS, and this much money they are making right now, 1:8. How can you take it to 1:10 or 1:15? So approach to that industry changes in just the specifics, but the 75% overall remains the same.
Okay. So, sir, this might be a last question from our side. So, it might be for the CAT aspirants. So, sir, can you tell us that what exactly is taught in the business schools? Are they case studies or just like the classes where teacher is teaching? Or do we given practical exposure as well in corporate field?
Um, uh, I feel there are multiple B schools that has even from my time, I can say we had a lot of case studies and a lot of experimentations. Um, and one of the reasons why I started MadHawks was we came up with the idea of India ki pehli chai, but my college was not supportive enough to give us the funding. And then 2011 or 12, I think Chayos came. So uh, at MadHawks, this is something that we always promote. We have something where we invest in startups at a very early age. We have tie-ups with few colleges where if there's a potential idea, we will be more than happy to fund that
Yes.
startup or the idea. Uh, the B schools that where we have interacted, now there are a lot of case studies as compared to in the past. Uh, and case studies and live examples, live projects, going and working in a company, working with companies in your internships, live projects, gives you that understanding of what is the meaning of Maslow. Why is it important when I create buyer persona for I still follow that what I learned in my MBA, how I need to, target. And I realized very late that what was taught to me at that age, it stayed with me, but I incorporated that same thing in a very different way. But now, the freshers we hire interns, and we see them doing a lot of projects, uh, come up with a lot of questions on, okay, this how this is related. This is a project I am doing. Can I like what is the correlation of this? It's very interesting and exciting that the leap that colleges have taken in giving the live exposures. I know the top colleges has always been like that, but now,
I am
yes, I don't want to take the name, but yeah,
okay.
all the top colleges of the country are like this. But other colleges have also, taken a step forward and uh, are doing well. And like exposure is the only thing that was missing in the past, which I think a lot of people are very lucky because we couldn't get that at our time. So yeah, I think that's what I want to say.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure learning more about your experiences and insights. Before we conclude, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
Um, this is something that I always use in like whenever I speak to journalists outside India or India, and uh, I was told at a very early age, uh, which I like to pass it on. Everyone is talented. Please identify your talent, and then nobody can stop you. So I've always have felt and believed, uh, even if people leave the company, it's not the end of the world. It's the synergies may not be matching. They may be good at something. So I always believe in this that you are talent. Just identify your talent.
Your perspective has certainly added depth to our discussion. Thank you so much for joining us.